What's up, guys? Part 3 of this year's fan game expo at Sage. So, the first game is called Burger Abyss, and the title font looks very similar to that of Pizza Tower. It even sports a similar art style. The game is a 2D platformer. You play as some guy. I'm not exactly sure what his name is or if he even has a name, but you can do moves like punching, butt slams, wall kicks, etc. There was a move called the shotgun punch, and this game does not do a good job at explaining exactly how to perform the move. This move is required to advance in the game, and I just couldn't do it. So it said hold down the punch button till your feet touch the floor, and I tried doing that. I tried sliding down the wall while holding the punch button. I tried jumping up into the air and then hold down the punch button. I tried just generically holding the punch button, and nothing I did could get it to work. I did get it to come out once on accident, but not exactly sure how I did it. So the game was okay for the short bit that I played. I just think that it needs to do a better job explaining how to do all of the moves. Next is Candy Rangers. This is a rail shooter, and it has you switching between 4 different characters because each of them has a different angle at which they could fire. So you can shoot targets and unlock alternate paths along the way. The soundtrack in this game is quite enjoyable. It's got kind of a lo-fi vibe to it, and I think this game is okay, though the 4 characters on screen is a bit much. Aesthetically, I think it looks great, but it appears to make the game more complicated, just switching between the 4 different girls to shoot, the targets that are on the screen. Next is Capi Pocket Adventure, and I actually had a good time with this one. You can choose from a couple of characters to play and another couple to choose as your partner, and they will just tag along. I'm not exactly sure how to use the partner. Maybe it's one of those things where you just select them and then they just work on their own. But the game is basically a 2D platformer with some Sonic inspiration. It has dashing, wall kicking, and I was just running through these levels having a great time. The rough part of this game definitely has to be the bosses. So when I was playing this game, I faced a couple of them, and they are a bit annoying because they don't have any animation or startup when they begin to attack. So the second boss was especially annoying. I couldn't even pass this part, even with having controller support. He was still just super difficult, so I ended up just turning the game off right here at this part. But I will say that from what I've played, it is really good. I just think that the game needs some adjustments to the bosses, make them more polished and balanced out, and this game will be really good. So next we have Code Bunny, the final demo. It's great that this is the final demo for this game. The game's full release will come out on the 22nd of September. So great job to the devs on this, as we see a lot of Sage games appear and they just stay in beta or demo state forever. So this game is a 2D platformer and you can choose between 2 different characters. And I didn't actually expect this game to have an 8-bit art style because of how intense the character selection screen art was, but it still was very enjoyable to play. I felt more comfortable playing as Axel, but for the most part, I didn't even bother with fighting much of the enemies. I was just evading them and speeding to the end of the stage. So there's a few boss fights in this game as well, and for the most part, they were enjoyable. Quite balanced, had some strategies to go with, fighting them, some patterns, things like that. I eventually just stopped playing this as I was running out of time, but there is much to experience in this demo, and I think it's really good. Next is Coporob, and this game is super hard, especially if you're trying to play it on keyboard. It's like one of those old school NES games where they have you platforming over death pits while enemies are shooting at you, and every time you get hit, you experience the dreadful knockback, which will make you fall into a bottomless pit or a pair of spikes or something like that. This is exactly what this game is. So I'm not sure if this game has proper controller support, but I definitely ran X-Patter using an Xbone controller because there was no way I was going to beat this game on keyboard. So although this game had some of that old school BS to it, it was very forgiving since they gave you an unlimited amount of lives, and there's checkpoints placed throughout the stage and often right after these difficult areas. So the game has one stage and a boss fight at the end of it. So the game is a bit difficult, but it is not unfair and it could be quite enjoyable. Cosmic Boll is a game that I have played at a previous Sage. This is a Sonic style game with a lot more action. So this has a lot of enemies and explosions on screen, and it makes me think of Sonic mixed with Metal Slug. So the game even has that old school SNK Neo Geo animation style to it. So I played this one on keyboard, and I wasn't the most optimal, during the gameplay that you're gonna see here. Because of that, I much rather prefer to play on controller. But it was still fun to play, like dashing and rolling into enemies to create chaos and explosions all over the screen. There's also like a dash punch move that you can do, but I didn't think it was very reliable, so I didn't really use it much as a means to attack. More using it for an air dash. So anyway, I think that this game is really great, and that's coming from me, when I was playing this game with just using a keyboard. So I know it would be even more fun if I used it on a gamepad. So I definitely recommend this one, and I would really like to see this game get finished at sometime soon, because it has been out for a while. So that's going to do it for this session at Sage. Stay tuned, as we are going to try to play all of these. And if you like this video, consider giving me a like and or subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you later.